Right, 2023 paper 1, question 1. So the price of houses in a particular area have been increasing. So increasing means it's getting bigger over a number of years. A house is valued at 240,000 at the start of 2019. At the start of 2020, the price of the house has increased by 8%. At the start of 2021, the price of the house has increased by a further 9% based on this 2020 price. Work out the price of the house at the start of 2020 and the start of 2021. Now you could use that formula, F is equal to P1 plus IT. But it's a lot easier since it's only 1 year at a time of just finding the percentage and adding it on. So in this one, 240,000 multiplied by 8%. Put it into your calculator and work it out. And you get 19,200. Then to work out the price at the end of the year, it's the 240,000 or at the start of the year plus the 19,200, and you get 259,200. So that's 2020. 2021 then, you're going to use this price and find 9% of it. So 259,200 by 9%, 23328, that's the increase. And therefore the price is your 259,200 plus your 23328. And that works out to give you 282,528. Next one. Another house is valued at 460,000. 1 year later, the value of this house had gone up to 472,000. Work out the percentage increase. So there's two things there you could easily do. It says work out the percentage. How do you make anything a percentage? You times it by 100. Then it says the increase in the value of the house. So what I often do in these ones is say it's the difference over the original and then times that by 100. So to work out the difference in those two, take it away. I haven't left myself much room, so I'll just work it out in my head. 472,000 minus 460,000 gives you 12,000 over the original, which is 460,000, and then times that by 100. So press your fraction, move across and times it by 100. 60 over 23, or 2.6, says to one decimal place, 2.6%. Next thing here, a third house was valued as this. Over the following 4 years, the value of the house increased by R percent each year compared to the previous year. After 4 years, the house was valued at 370,000. Work out the value of R by filling in each of these. Now it's nice that they told you what each of them specifically were. So instead of my F, I'm going to fill in 370,000. So there's no reason, like anyone doesn't do that. Then you'll get your attempt marks. 265,000, 1 plus R over 100, and then the T they tell you to fill in is 4. Now you could keep doing trial and error here to see until you get this side equal to 370,000. So you'd cover it up and keep throwing in values of R. You know, there's no reason you can't do that. So you could go trial and error, and it's probably easier for the majority of you. Or if you wanted to do it mathsy, you're trying to work out at the end R is equal to something. So this thing is stuck onto it at the minute. I can't multiply it in because it's not to the power of 4. It's only this to the power of 4. So I want to get rid of this. To get rid of the 265,000, bring across and divide. So it's 370,000 over 265,000 is equal to 1 plus R over 100 times 4. Now if I had x to the power of 4 is equal to 16, what that is asking you is what number multiply by itself 4 times to give you 16. And what you would do is you'd find the fourth root of it. So the fourth root of 16 I would spit out 2. So it's the same thing here. To get this out of that to the power of 4, we're going to take the fourth root of both sides. So you take the fourth root of that. Now you can put it in your calculator. I'm just going to leave it as a fraction. that way I'm not writing a heap of numbers after the decimal point, is equal to 1 plus r over 100. We're getting it basic. Like, this is a tricky wee question, to be fair. Next thing, to get the r on its own, there's a plus sign here, so they're separated. So I can bring across that 1. So it's the 4th root, 370,000, 265,000 minus 1 is equal to r over 100. And now to get r on its own, multiply this full thing by 100. So you could work it out first of all, and then times it by 100. Or if you're very skillful in your calculator, type it on in. Oh, I've got my minus 1 there as well. And just make sure that minus 1 comes out of that square root. That'll be equal to r. Now that is tricky. There's nothing easy about that. You know, give a very, very, very good student that and they'll find that tough. So I do think trial and error would probably be better for most of you. And you all would get something around it. And when you do that, you get an answer of 2.6. So r is equal to 2.6, 2.6%. You can see that, that is, I don't know. Next one, number 2, complex numbers. And as you can see up the top, I squared is equal to minus 1. So you'll need that if you're multiplying. The complex number Z1 is shown in the diagram. Plot and label Z1 conjugate. Now Z1, if they ask me to label it, it's real and then the imaginary. So we'll go across before you go up or down. So it would be 3 minus 3i. Remember, your I uses complex number. So the complex conjugate is you change the sign of the imaginary part. I can hear you saying it. So 3 plus 3i. So you rotate it above that axis there. Z2 and Z3 are two other complex numbers. Z2 is 5 plus i. So it's 5 plus 1. And Z3 is 6 minus 2i. That's my Z3. Plot and label Z2 and Z3 in the diagram. And then write 4Z2 minus 5Z3 in that form. So again, everyone should be able to do this. You're solving in 5 plus I for Z2 and 6 minus 2i for Z3. So it's 4 times 5 plus I minus 5 times 6 minus 2i. Multiply that out. And tidy it up. So minus 10 plus 16i. Oh, no, made a mistake there. It's a 10 plus 14i. Testing you. Minus 10 plus 14i. Need to get blinds in here. Next thing, work out the value of Z3. So them two straight down lines mean the modulus. Now Z3, if you turn it back, is 6 minus 2i. So it's the modulus of 6 minus 2i. Now we spoke about this the last day. There's two ways you could do it. You could use your modulus formula as such. You could say it's the square root of a squared plus b squared. I said it's nearly always up. Or square root of real squared plus imaginary squared, as Plunkett says. So a squared is 6 squared plus minus 2 squared. Throw that in your calculator. Square root of 40. Which gives you 2 root 10. And it does say given Cert form. That means leave a square root in it. Alternatively, this means the distance from the origin. So you could work out the distance between 0, 0 and 6 minus 2. We just don't have an I in it. We've turned it into a point. Label it x1, y1, x2, y2. Whatever way you prefer. And throw it into your formula. Square root of 6 minus 0 squared plus minus 2 minus 0 squared. It's the same as this, except there's no zeros in it. And it'll always be the same. So you get 2 root 10. So whatever way you like. Next thing. Complex numbers, Z4. Probably need a ruler here. Z4, Z5, Z6 and Z7 are shown. The diagram is to scale. Tick one box to indicate which is the largest modulus. Now modulus means the distance from the origin. And the origin, remember, is your point 0, 0. So this point in the middle. So which one's furthest from the middle? You know, ideally I'd have a ruler. I'm getting worse than use. I got nothing. So if you join them all up, you can see, you even measure it when the distance is to scale, or the axis is to scale. But to me, that Z5, is it? Yeah, Z5 has the largest modulus. Give a reason. Furthest from the origin. It had to be either the smallest or the biggest, if you think about it. How would it be any of the middle ones? So modulus is distance from the origin, and I'd say the largest. So what else would it be? Common sense. Number 3, solve the following equation. What do we have here that can get rid of? We have brackets. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12. The minus 5 isn't in it. Is equal to 3. Tidy it up. 6x plus 7 is equal to 3. Bring that across. 6x is equal to 3 minus 7. 6x equal to minus 4. X equal to minus 4 over 6. And that simplifies down to minus 2/3. If you wrote it as a decimal, minus 0.6, don't just write that. Minus 0. Press your SD button. 6667. You know. Graph each of the following inequalities on the number line. Note that x comes from a different set of numbers. What do I mean by that? You've got r, z, and n. Now I would start in n. What does n mean? It's the natural numbers. They're positive whole numbers. So this says x is less than or equal to 2.8. Now what's the first positive whole number less than 2.8? It's 2. So dot, n and z you use dots. Only r you use a ruled line. So just 2 and 1 because they're positive numbers. 0 doesn't make a number bigger, and they're whole. So specifically 1, specifically 2. Z is the integers. It's positive and negative whole numbers. So what can we do there now? X is less than or equal to 2.8. What's the first whole number less than 2.8? It's 2. And it's all the way back because it includes the negative numbers as well. So that keeps going on. I'd be inclined to put a wee arrow there at the end of it. And then the last one, r, it's your real numbers. It's all numbers, decimals, fractions, and so on. All real numbers. So x is less than 2.8. We know the general direction we're going. 2.8 is probably about there. For r, you use a rule line. Remember, I don't have a ruler. Get one. Goes that way. Thick rule line. And the only thing you've got to decide, do I colour in the dot? If it's included, like it is there, colour in the dot. Next one, use algebra to solve the simultaneous equation. The thing maybe I don't like about it initially is, here I've got my number on the right, here the number's still over there. So I might bring it over. So I've got x minus y is equal to minus 1, 2x plus 4y is equal to 19. And I've got no squareds here, so it's just a normal, straightforward simultaneous equation. You can still do it the other way if you want it. Get one of the letters on its own and sub it in. That works. You know, so that other way works for both of them. Now you're going to look for the same number, maybe of y's different sign. So here I've got minus 1, here I've got 4. So what could I do with that top line? I could times that full line by 4. And if I times that full line by 4, I get 4x minus 4y is equal to minus 4. 2x plus 4y is equal to 19. Same number of y's, different sign, they go. 6x is equal to 15. X equal to 15 over 6. X is equal to 2.5. Once you have that, then sub it back in. So 2.5 minus y is equal to minus 1. 2.5 plus 1 is equal to y. 3.5 is equal to y. Now, as I said, you could have done that the other way. Never shown it, but just in case today your exam you got confused. Say you got x on its own. X is equal to y minus 1. Sub it in there. 2 times y minus 1 plus 4y is equal to 19. Tidy it up. 2y and 4y, 6y is equal to 19 plus 2, because I'm bringing it across. 6y is equal to 21. Y is equal to 21 over 6. Y is equal to 3.5, like we got there. And then you fire it in there. X equal to 3.5 minus 1. X equal to 2.5. So like, if you wanted to focus on one way, that way always works. It might be a wee bit more confusing.
especially if you get numbers in front of these, 3 and 5, say, you'll have to do it that way, otherwise you'll end up with fractions. So that'll probably do us for that one. Use try there for yourselves. Question 4. Try question 4 now. I'll get another video for that then. So try question 4.